Yo guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So I had a special request to test out Star Wars Outlaws, my newly acquired overclocked MSI Vanguard RTX 1590 graphics card, and Ryzen 9 9950X 3D CPU. So firstly, as always, I'll start off by showing you the graphics settings really quickly. So we are running a resolution of 3040 by 2160 on my 4K 154Hz display. Unlocked frame rate for cinematics, no frame rate cap, NVIDIA low fixed latency is enabled. We're running DLSS quality mode without any frame generation. We will test out native 4K a little bit later along with frame generation. And we are currently running the Ultra preset. We will test out the Outlaw preset a little bit later in the video. And NVIDIA RTX direct lighting is enabled, which is a very heavy feature to run. Film grain, let's go ahead and turn that off. And as for the advanced graphics settings, there's a few settings here that I could actually max out a little bit higher than I did with the 5080, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put this at max, 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 and let's turn ray trace diffuse reflections at ultra. And we'll set that to max. So it's a little bit higher settings than we tested on the 5080 because I really want to push this GPU to the limit here. And yeah, so we're fully maxed out. Officially now. Now reset the afterburner. And we'll kind of do like what I did in my last video. We'll kind of test out the outdoor environments and then we'll test out the indoor environments. And then like I said, later on in the video, we'll test out the Outlaw graphics preset. We may try it out natively also if it runs, and we'll just take things from there. But enjoy, guys. We'll see how everything runs and plays. Usually for the benchmark, I kind of go in the indoor environment, show the NPCs, and show little different parts of the game. And we'll see how it runs and plays.
Let me see some identification.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You're Torin Valerio Nup?
That's me. Mm-hmm.
I like
All right, move along.
I like your reflections on the stormtrooper suit there. Pretty detailed.
Glad I got that fake identity card.
Yes. Here are my scan docs. Is everything okay?
Look at the VRAM usage, 21 gigabytes of VRAM. That is absolutely insane. Goes to show you how unoptimized this title is if it's using that much VRAM of DLSS Ultimate. It's crazy.
I'd kill for some peace and quiet.
One little stutter there. And I always like looking at the ray trace reflections here. It's really detailed. I think that's probably using ray reconstruction there. Get those vibrant detail and color. Pulling a whole lot of wattage as well. Okay, so 4K DLSS quality mode, averaging 47 FPS, 1% low staying at 38, max FPS at 56. Alright, so now let me we'll do native 4K here. So let's set this to DLA. Reset the afterburner.
Ready, Nick?
606 watts, that's insane. Yeah, we're going to be putting a whole lot of power of this setting here. Oh, and also let me know, I did mention in one of my other videos that I did find a safe, decent, undervolted overclock. So let me know if you want me to make a video of showing my 5090 undervolted. And for some of these games to run natively, I may have to even enable the underclock, or sorry, overclock, so I don't push too much wattage through this 12-pin high-power connector. As you can see, the temperatures are getting up to 77 degrees Celsius, which is the highest I've ever seen this GPU run at. 612 watts. Wow, that's crazy. Still maintaining around 2900 megahertz, a little bit over 93,000 depending on the scene. But yeah, that wattage is a little scary though.
Straight to the filters.
Okay, so it looks like maintaining barely 26 FPS here. And keep in mind, this is a heavier setting because it's I did raise some of those graphics features a little bit higher than the default level that I had on the 5080, so do bear that in mind. But yeah, for me, the actual visual fidelity of this game, it really doesn't look as good as hard it is to run. It just doesn't look all that impressive, if you ask me.
Let's drive.
But native 4K, we're averaging 27 FPS, 1% low, sitting at 22, and max FPS at 33. And very briefly, since we're already here, let's test out the Outlaw preset. Just very briefly. I'm not going to go too crazy with it, but we'll see how it runs natively here. Reset the afterburner. And now you can see we're 1% low, sitting at 20, so obviously a very heavy scene to run. Look at that wattage, it's scary to look at. We'll just test this out briefly. We'll go back to the indoor environment briefly, and then we'll enable DLSS quality mode to see how the Outlaw preset runs. Just a quicker little test here, since this is a higher setting that most people probably aren't going to run unless they have a 6090 for all I know. So I won't make this part too long because it's actually so heavy that it's hard to even run here. Okay, so 23 or 26 FPS average, 1% low, say at 22, max FPS of 31. Alright, and now of course this is the Outlaw preset, so we're going to quickly enable DLSS quality mode here. We'll keep this a little bit shorter since I don't want to make this video too long here. Go a little bit more downstairs. And again, like I mentioned, this is a heavier setting than I ran with 5080. There are a few settings that I did have to max out even further. So do bear that in mind when you're comparing the FPS to the 5080.
The trial against a rebel spy in the UQ thread incident was closed today.
We'll get back on that speed bike or whatever it was called, and we'll test out the outdoor environment, DLSS quality mode, the Outlaw preset, and then we will test
Hold on, Nix.
4K DLSS quality mode with frame generation also. But yeah, I just don't understand why is this game so hard to run. We're on a 5090 and even with DLSS quality mode, we're barely getting 45 FPS, just barely. It's crazy. So DLSS quality mode with the Outlaw preset, averaging 47 FPS, 1% low, staying at 37, max FPS 53. Alright, now let's turn on frame generation. We'll just do 2x. I'm not going to do the multi-friend like 4x and 3x and all that other bullshit. I think that's just too over the top. Reset the afterburner. And I'm going to say, if you would have run this at 4K DLSS quality mode with all those settings that I did max out, you probably would have run frame generation, or just run 1440p with DLSS quality mode. I'm going to reset the afterburner one more time here. Looks like we got a small spike there. And disregard the frame timing graph, that always happens with DLSS frame generation, so it's going to be inaccurate. Seems to be an issue with NVIDIA cards.
Sector's a little too quiet.
It's kind of annoying though, because it fills up a lot of the screen.
Big shots get into power. They make smart
Nothing to report.
I forgot I also have the Outlaw preset still on, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, go back to the Ultra preset, and then we'll test out 1440p native resolution. So 4K with a DLSS frame generation and DLSS quality mode, averaging 86 FPS, 1% low staying at 34, max FPS at 107. And before I forget, let's turn off the Outlaw preset here. And let's turn off frame gen, and we'll put this at DLA. And we're going to lower the resolution of 1440p here. So 2560 by 1440p. 1 moment for monitor to respond here. Reset the afterburner. Now on my 5080, I had to run 1440p with DLSS quality mode just to make the game playable. So it looks like 1440p native here is very much so more playable. So if you got a 1440p screen and you want to run natively, you probably can get away with 1440p native on the 5090 here. A little stutter there. It feels like this thing's running out of fuel or something. Going slow. It's weird. And obviously these lower resolutions put more load on the CPU, so the CPU is a little bit more warmer here. 60 degrees Celsius. 61 now.
Up next on the Holonet News, a gang of swoop-like bandits wreaking havoc on Rishi were neutralized by Imperial forces following the...
And yeah, I've really not progressed further in the storyline because I'm just not a big fan of Star Wars games. And I really can't get into this, to be quite honest with you, so I just use it more as a benchmark. And it is a good benchmark because it is really heavy, but in terms of the graphics fidelity, like I mentioned, it just, I don't know, the graphics just look dull to me. They don't look as good as the graphics settings imply. This looks kind of grainy and not very colorful and dull. Okay, so 1440p native, averaging 60 FPS, 1% low staying at 47, max FPS at 72. And then very briefly, I'm going to enable DLSS quality mode. There's one user who watches my videos who does like to see DLSS quality mode at 1440p, so we'll go ahead and apply that. Reset the afterburner.
Hang on tight.
And you can see this is the setting that I had to run on the 5080 Astro to make it playable, but now maxing out here at 99 FPS. 12% low staying at 67, so very much so more playable. 5090. Smoother, it's a lot easier to, like the motion is a lot more smoother. So it definitely does help improve the experience here. This is going to be a quick test of 1440p DLSS quality mode. Just very briefly, I'll test out the indoor environment because I don't want to make this video too long. Going back and forth, making the same routes, a little tiring. it down to this more crowded environment so we get a good estimate here how everything runs.
Up next on the Holonet News, the Imperial Office of Customs has
Okay, so 1440p with DLSS quality mode, averaging 90 FPS, 1% low sitting at 60, and max FPS at 110. Alright, so now let's go back to DLA mode, and let's lower down the resolution of 1080p is what I meant to say, 1920 by 1080p. One moment for monitor to respond here. Okay, for some reason it didn't like that. That's weird. I've never seen 1080p not work. 1920 by 1080p. If it doesn't work, that's fine. I mean, that's such a low resolution. Okay, it worked that time. Let me make sure everything is still enabled here. So, DLA, Ultra. Sometimes when you lose power here, it changes some of these settings here. So I want to make sure they're fully maxed out before I test 1080p here. Alright, I'm going to reset the object program. Sorry about that intermission there. Sometimes you get glitches.
Ready next?
That's what happens with benchmarking. It's you never know what's going to happen. But you got to be prepared. Sometimes what happens is the video would cut out and you would have to start all over. So hopefully thankfully that did not happen. Because I sure would have wanted to record all that footage and have to start all over. That would have sucked, to say the least. And now you can see we're putting more CPU loads up to 63 degrees Celsius, pulling about 101 watts in the CPU. And GPU is pulling about 518 to 530 watts. And back up the stairs for what, the fifth or sixth time so far? Check out those reflections, detailed.
I'm Donna Paris, and this is your Holonet News. A smuggling freighter containing several explosives.
Okay, so 1080p native, averaging 77 FPS, 1% low sitting at 56, max FPS at 96. Go back to 4K here, and put this to quality mode. And I would say 4K with DLSS quality mode, you can get away with that, but if you want a little bit extra FPS, turn on frame generation, it'll be a little bit more playable. Okay, so very good. But if you did enjoy the video, do give this video a like. If you want to see more content like this, more MSI Vanguard RTX 5090 graphics card benchmarks, along with my Ryzen 9 9950X DCP, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Happy weekend. And I'll see you guys for another video presentation soon enough. That brings you Star Wars Outlaws. And we'll see you guys around. Peace out. Thanks for watching.